Welcome to the Soul Space, the podcast that inspires you to discover your truth, ignite your passion, and align your life with the power of who you really are. I'm Georgia Rose, psychic astrologer. I share the cosmic roadmap that guided me through astrology, tarot, and inner knowing into authentic living. I'm here to help you decode your soul's cosmic story, reconnect with your passion, and create the life you are meant to live. It all starts within, and it all starts now in the soul space. Hi, everybody. It's Georgia Rose, your psychic astrologer, and I am here in the soul space, hoping that you guys will all be joining me tonight. I see we already have some people coming in. Sorry I was a few minutes late. Our studio is next door to a big dance studio, and all these moms were dropping off their precious little cargo and blocking the road. And I was going to have a moment, maybe a Uranian moment, but I didn't. I was very nice, and I just waited by the little sidewalk so that I could get through. So we are live in the studio as usual on Monday at 7 o'clock. And if you guys want to share the show, I would love you to death, because we are trying to get our viewership up, because, you know, I feel like I have really meaningful things to say, and I think I'm pretty good about getting my content out, but it's always a struggle to get people to listen. And even though, you know, I try to just, whoever's supposed to show up shows up, I still want to be able to give as many people as possible all of the info about the stars and what's going on. So if you want to share the show, I would really, really appreciate that. So tonight we're going to talk about the full moon in Gemini, which is coming in on the 4th, which I believe is Thursday. And we're also going to do some tarot readings for the holidays, because I wanted to see what everyone was thinking about, what their holidays would be like. It would be really cool to do some predictions. I see I have Sarah in the house and Trisha. Hey, both of you. I hope that Sarah's doing a little better. I know she had some challenge over the weekend, and always sending you guys love. Thanks, Carmine. Carmine just closed my studio door. And yeah, so we'll get started. So before I came to the show, I always, as is my habit, I did so today too, I always kind of go online and look at some of the astrology and things like that. I have a lot of mentors and teachers that I use exclusively, that I have videos that, you know, you guys don't really see. And one of my videos from last year, actually last December 15th, hey, Kalanoff Connection, glad you're in the house. That's my friend Stephanie. She's been on the show. So a video came up that I actually did last December 15th. And it was the coolest thing, because it was about a full moon in Gemini. I actually sent it to some of my astrology friends. And it was really interesting, because it brought back the energy of where we were when we began 2025. And the full moon in Gemini was December 15th. And if you go on my Zenkuda site on YouTube, you can watch that video. It's about a half hour. And it's titled 2025 Brings Big Change. And it was all about the full moon in Gemini coming in and some of the aspects. But one of the things we were talking about was, since that was the end of 2024, looking into 2025, was December 15th, 2024, almost a year ago. And I spoke a lot about how 2024 was a year where a lot of our fears came up to the surface, so that we could find where the conflicts were in our life and then kind of battle them, but also resolve them. And here we were in that video at the end of 2024. And I spoke a lot about how we were all at a different place than when we began the year. And here we are now in December of 2025. And I'll bet all of you who watch the Soul Space, and even some of you who are newcomers, can honestly say that you're in a completely different place than where you were in the beginning of 2025. And I think when I look back, and I'll do a few shows about the energy and things, maybe even we'll put a few clips in from shows of this past year. But when I look back, I can really see how this year has been a journey of vision. And I think that's because, you know, when Uranus first went back into, well, now it's back in Taurus, but when it first went into Gemini, it was really a time when we were getting a vision of what we thought our life could be. And I think with this Gemini full moon right now in the present day, it's a culmination of a lot of the energy that we've experienced in 2025. Gemini is an energy of curiosity. It's an energy of visionary. It's also ruled by the planet Mercury. We just had Mercury go direct yesterday. So that's a big deal, because now we have a moon that is full in the planet's sign, and it just went direct. So that means the energy is definitely moving forward. And what you're going to see is Saturn also just went direct. And that's going to give us a lot of structure in our life. So if we've been kind of wishy-washy and floating around and feeling like we're kind of nothing is really set or nothing is really strong or grounded, it's because there's been no earth in the sky. None of the planets are in earth signs right now. So Saturn is a planet that gives us structure. So now that's going direct and headed towards Aries, where Neptune will soon follow. It's going to bring us the vision that we felt in the beginning of the year of what we thought our life could be. It's like the dream of the potential of what our life can possibly be. And now that Saturn is moving along back into Aries and going full speed ahead, it's going to give us the structure. And we'll be able to see the structure of what we need to build and how we really need to create the life that we can see ahead of us and what we really want. So 2025 has been a really interesting year of showing us what we could be, showing us more where we want to go, but it's also been a year of closing doors. 2026 will continue closing a lot of those doors, but 2026 is our last chance until we go into a completely new energy in 2027, where you're going to find that your life is either changed and now it's really on a huge path forward, or you're probably going to stay in the same place for the rest of your life. I hate to say that, but that's the opportunity that presents itself right now. Of course, there's always opportunity for change. I don't want to be drastic, but this year coming up is our final countdown to the beautiful energy that's going to come in for 2027. This particular full moon in Gemini is all about communication. It's also very much about communication with relationships. And it's really interesting because the full moon in Gemini that we had last December of 2024 was right smack up against Venus. It showed us what our values were, what we truly wanted our vision of our life to be. And now, after a few false starts and a few touch and goes, now that vision is going to come really back to life again. We have Mercury in Scorpio, which is an energy of emotional depth, of being investigative, really being the detective. So we're really going to want to dig deep to be able to see what we need to do in order to create that life we envision. So what I'm going to say to everyone is, if you're a little confused, that's a good thing because it means something's about to change. Gemini is an energy that can be confusing, but it's also an energy of great curiosity. Think about it. Anytime your life moved forward, it was because you had a great curiosity about something. You went to dive into something or find out about something or expand an energy because you were really curious. That's what the Gemini full moon is going to bring to us. It also means the sun is in Sagittarius because the moon is full. Moon's in Gemini, sun's in Sagittarius. This is actually happening on 13 degrees of Gemini and 13 degrees of Sagittarius. 13 degrees of Sagittarius is an area of the zodiac or the sky space known as the Great Attractor. It's a place where we have a wormhole of energy. And that energy isn't just going one way, it's going two different ways. It can bring things to us that we attract, and we can also attract things from it that we put into it that we want to bring to a higher level. It's kind of a myth, kind of a story that goes with the energy, but at the same time, it's the great attractor. We have an opportunity here to step into a portal where we can create whatever we want to create at a time where the moon in Gemini is showing us the vision of what our life can be, and Saturn is giving us the structure. It's showing us the foundation of how we can build it. This is a lot of promise that we can bring into 2026 if we start right now. The full moon in Gemini also has Mars and Juno in Sagittarius. Juno is known as the marriage asteroid or the asteroid of long-term relationship, partnerships, and soul space connections. With Mars there, it's going to amplify that with a very fiery energy. So expect relationships and partnerships to really start to take on a new vision for you. Maybe it's a time of, I've had enough and I'm going to move on because this doesn't coincide with what I want the vision of my life to be. Really interesting energy. So the other thing about your Gemini energy and the curiosity it brings is that it also enhances our mental acuity. So it's doing that while, like I just said, Mars and Juno are really focused on relationships, and Mercury just went direct in Scorpio. So what does that mean? Well, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, where the full moon is. So it means that our minds are really quick right now. We can see things really clearly. We have clarity. We're probably going to have clarity about relationships. And the real thing about this is this moon, full moon, squares the lunar nodes, which are our past and our future destiny. So that means that the nodes of fate are creating an evolutionary tension between what our past was and what our future is. Well, we're seeing clearly what we want our life to be, what we envision our life to be. We see that clearly. While the South Node is tugging at our heartstrings a little bit about the past, the fear will come up, right? The fear of the change. But this moon is going to make it so clear that there's only one way for us to go, and that's straight, full speed ahead, straight into the future. So collectively, this energy can illuminate truths that's out in the population, out in the world energy. The Gemini full moon can bring revelations. It can bring stories, facts, conversations surface that maybe we haven't had before, more honest than ever before. Because Gemini is all about seeing things and seeing things that two things can be true. We see the energy for what it really is. It's multiplicity. Things aren't just one way. And we begin to accept them because that sun in Sagittarius is glaring on the truth. It's all about the truth and the higher meaning of what something is. So our human nature asks us in an energy like this, and think about this as far as 2025 going, how do we respond when what we're used to is taken away? Of course, it brings us fear and anxiety, but we also have a curiosity about what's next. This beautiful kind of anticipation. And the full moon in Gemini can bring us that if we stay out of the fear. Don't be afraid of your curiosity. Allow it to carry you on a wave into the future. Don't be afraid of what no longer is. Think about what can be. That's really the highest octave of this. We have an evolutionary choice here. The square to the lunar nodes that this moon is making, the North Node and the South Node, emphasizes our soul growth. And the choice we have is to move beyond the control of our past, move beyond the idea of perfectionism, trust our intuition, and surrender to the unknown. And that's really what 2025 has been all about, surrendering to the unknown, believing in the unseen. I remember on the beginning of 2025, when I sat in the cold car one winter night and waited for the aurora borealis to come, those beautiful northern lights that we very rarely see in my neck of the woods. The solar storms were producing so many geomagnetic fields that they were supposed to be visible. And I sat, and I never got to see them. They didn't come to see me. But I knew they were in other parts of the world, and it was a lesson for me to believe in the unseen. And as I sat there waiting for the aurora borealis and the northern lights to appear before my eyes in this cold, chilly, frigid night, I realized they were there. Just because I couldn't see them didn't mean they weren't there and their energy didn't exist. And I felt them. I didn't need to see them. I knew them. I felt the energy. I knew how beautiful they were. I could picture them in my mind's eye and be a part of it, even though I didn't really ever see them. That's what 2025 has been about. It's been about believing in the unseen and knowing that certain things are true, even if we can't see them. Knowing that sometimes two things are true. I didn't see the aurora borealis, but I knew it was there. That's Gemini energy. It's believing in the multiplicity of life and knowing that two things can be true, that our curiosity will lead the way. We also have the end of this grand emotional water trine that's been in play for quite a few weeks, and that's a backdrop to this full moon, so it's going to bring us a lot of insights and emotionality. And it can also shift our belief systems. So the best thing to do in this this full moon, is remain open. Embrace your curiosity. Don't think you're confused. Think you're curious. Don't think you're scattered. Think you just know a lot of things, a little bit about a lot. And bless yourself for it. Embrace yourself for it. Bring on the curiosity, because that's what's going to lead you home. So some practical guidance: journal, meditate, speak your truth. Great time to speak your truth. If you have Gemini placements, planets in Gemini, this is really going to enhance your communication and your choices in relationships. If you have Sagittarius placements, it's going to expand travel, belief systems, philosophical breakthroughs. If you have Virgo or Pisces placements, it's going to bring tension between practicality and surrender. Sometimes we don't need to live a practical life. We need to live an adventurous life. We need to be curious and step into our intuition. And isn't that how we get really satisfying experiences? So I would say balance your Sagittarius fire in this moon, where the sun is, Move your body, try and expel energy. And then engage in Gemini practices, conversation, writing, community, sharing, things like that. So that's basically the Gemini full moon coming in on Thursday. It's going to have a really heightened illumination and clarity, soulful guidance, and communication, duality also. Gemini is the twins. Everything comes in twos. Sometimes in a Gemini full moon, we'll find ourselves having to do things twice and do-overs and same conversation twice and things like that. But I'm going to pull tarot cards for each sign. And even though we're a little bit away from all the holidays, I know Hanukkah this year is on the 15th, but of course Christmas and Christmas Eve and all those holidays are later in the month, but we also have a lot of other holidays that we all celebrate now. So I thought it was good in the beginning of the month just to do some tarot pulls and tarot cards about the readings. But I'm just going to go really quickly through the 12 signs of the zodiac before I do the tarot about what this season is going to bring with the astrology, and then we'll see if the tarot cards really match it, okay? So Aries, in this holiday, your spark is strong. The sky is going to show opportunities for a lot of joy. So if you get invitations, take them, but watch for impulsive spending if you're an Aries. If you're a Taurus, you're going to ground comfort in your gifts. Don't be surprised if when you're out shopping for everyone else, you end up buying yourself something like a massage or whatever, Taurus, this Christmas. It's also that you're going to be focusing on a much slower pace this year, more family traditions and gratitude. Gemini, this is your full moon, setting off the month. I think it's the 19th, right around by the solstice, by the 20th of the month, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. So it's really interesting because this full moon in Gemini is on the great attractor, and the new moon in Sagittarius later in the month is on the galactic center. So we've got a lot of space, galactic, alien energy out this month. So Gemini, this is your moon, and this is going to highlight clarity in your relationships. So when you find yourself speaking your truth, Gemini, speak it with love. Love, 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 Gemini. Don't fly off the handle. And Cancer, home is your sanctuary, and even more so in this holiday season. So I encourage balance between giving and receiving emotional support. Don't go into your shell. Cancer, you want to learn how to receive as well as give. Leo, in this season, your light is going to shine so bright, but it's going to be very creative. You'll have more creative celebrations. Maybe you're going to go for a paint night instead of just a cocktail party. But share your warmth, but be very careful of overextending. In this energy, Leo, you can overspend and overindulge with food and drink. Virgo, details always matter to you, but in this holiday season, try not to overthink. You're going to heal through service and be mindful of holiday rituals. Maybe you want to do more for charity than you do in a more commercial way this year. And Libra, harmony is always your theme. However, this holiday suggests navigating family dynamics with grace and diplomacy. So your focus is going to be on the full moon. Scorpio, your transformation and transmutation continues, and you're going to have some deep emotional connections. So trust your intuition on which holiday gatherings you go to. Sagittarius, adventure calls. You may decide that you want to take a trip this holiday. Joys in travel and new experience. So stay open to surprises. Capricorn, structure, structure, structure. But this year, your structure brings peace during the holidays. You may find yourself balancing work and play really well so that you can celebrate with your family. Aquarius, innovation is your thing. You may put up some really different Christmas lights this year and get some really unusual gifts. But just remember, your uniqueness should be embraced. And remember to embrace that with your community and originality. And then finally, Pisces, your gift, of course, is always sensitivity. But be careful not to overindulge in the sensitive side. You want to also renew your spirit and lean into creativity and having fun. So let's see what the cards are going to bring tonight. All right, I'm going to go to some comments, and then we're going to do all of our cards, our fire, water, air, and earth. So, hey, we've got Trisha and Sarah and Stephanie. Don't know who that is, but welcome, Ann Dillon. Ann Rothney. Okay, I know you. Yes, very well. Hey, yes, Aaron. All right, Aaron. Oh, very good. Well, if your IC is Sag, later in the month we have a new moon in Sagittarius. Aaron. So that will actually be highlighting your family and foundation if it's on your IC. And of course, your Gemini sun, you know you're supposed to be really diplomatic this season. And oh, Stephanie says the anniversary of her dad passing 21 years ago. And we're going to pull cards for her. So I'm going to pull 2 cards for Steffers for this occasion. And then they're telling me 2. And then I'm going to do everybody. So I have the Hierophant and the 6 of Wands. So Stephanie, the Hierophant is a male energy or someone who identifies as a male energy. And Carmine's going to zoom in on my cards. I hope you guys can see them. Yeah, I think that's good. Should I bring it a little closer, you think, Carmine? Is that better maybe? I don't know. We're in the new studio, so we're not used to this. That's good, actually. Okay, so the Hierophant is an energy of someone who is kind of not like offbeat, like not of the, Aaron says diplomatic, he doesn't know. So Stephanie, I think this is your dad, actually. If he was a very unconventional type of man, because the Hierophant is someone who can be a very dominant person, a very strong personality, but not of the norm. Like he's not your typical patriarchal person. He is a little bit avant-garde or offbeat, maybe had some offbeat hobbies, things like that. And then the 6 of Wands is a card of recognition. If you look at that card, it has the gentleman on the horse and he has a staff with a laurel wreath on top. And that is a card of recognition. And usually when that comes out in a spread, this card, the Hierophant, is actually bringing recognition and almost like saying to someone how proud he is of someone and how, you know, that laurel wreath symbolizes, you know, resting on your laurels. Like take a moment to really recognize your beautiful successes. And this speaks very much into your dad and your relationship. He was like a champion for you, and especially on the other side. And he says even now, almost as though he feels like he should have been more verbal about his appreciation of you, about how proud he was of you, but he's saying it from the other side. And if you look at that card that is the 6 of Wands, that card is all about abundance and this beautiful gold blanket over the horse. And the horse is coming in like powerful, like conquering a battle. And I feel like your dad is saying, you know, I don't want to say too much personally, but your dad is saying, good for you. You've overcome, you've triumphed over your battles. And he's seeing that from the other side. So really, really interesting cards for you. And I can tell you that just psychically, your dad's energy is coming in so strongly for me. I know that your dad had something to do with NASCAR because we've spoken about this. I don't remember exactly what. But even though we have this beautiful, you know, gold blanket that the horse is riding on in the card, I have to tell you, I don't know if your dad had a yellow car or something, but I'm seeing the color yellow that he's showing me this, like something on the track or something that he had very bright yellow he's showing me, and how it was like unusual in some way. So I don't know what that is. You'll know, but just take that with you. Okay. And that's his confirmation saying that I'm here. I'm here. All right. So I forgot to do our cosmic comedy. So we're going to go to that now. But I want to tell you, tonight's cosmic comedy is a really special one because I'm doing tarot. And sometimes I go online like to YouTube or TikTok and I look at like the tarot readers and they're so corny. And there's so many people out there that are just so funny the way they read tarot. So I found a spoof of a tarot reader that I think you'll really enjoy. And let this be a lesson that you should call me or go on to zenkuda.com if you really need a reading, because you get somebody like this. It's time for Cosmic Comedy, where Mercury retrograde is the main character, the lunations are loony, and the stars are a punchline.
If you're seeing this reading, this means it was meant for you, and this is urgent. We've got the Emperor, which means you're going to become an emperor, so you better study up on what that means and what it's like to be an emperor, because the Empress, you're going to get married, you're going to marry into becoming an emperor, which is phenomenal news. This is really great for you. And the High Priestess is going to be looking out for you. The High Priestess is going to be trying to find the Emperor, which is you. So you got a lot going on. you better, yeah, that's great news. Congrats on being an emperor. That'll be $1,000, please.
See, that could happen if you don't get on zenkuda.com for your reading. That could actually happen to you. Okay, so now we're going to do our real tarot readings. Carmine's laughing back there in the booth. I know he is. So, so anyway, now that Mercury is out of the microwave, we're going to go forward. Okay, so this is for my fire signs. Who are my fire signs? My fire signs are you hot Aries, your lit up Leos, and my wonderful Sagittariuses who love a party. But this year you've got a lot going on in your signs, so you may be a little calmer than usual, especially with a Gemini full moon. Okay, so this is for my fire signs. Don't catch fire too much. Okay, fire signs, I've got the Chariot. You know what that means, guys? That means that our fire signs are going to be moving forward. The Chariot is a card of decision. Where'd it go? Oh, the Chariot is a card of decision. I have to share this with you guys because it's just so typically me. I looked at my monitor and there was no card on the thing, and I'm like, I just put a card there. And I forgot that we have like a 10-second delay. So I thought the card disappeared. Okay, so my fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. You have this beautiful Chariot. And the Chariot card means things are going to move forward for you. So that's great because the end of a year, you want to go into the new year with things moving forward. Then I have the Devil card. Now, slow down, my fire signs, because this doesn't mean that the devil is coming to get you or anything like that. This simply means that there is a temptation of some kind in your life. Maybe it's somebody's wife, somebody's husband, somebody's boyfriend, somebody's girlfriend. I don't know. You fire signs are always getting hot. But whatever it is, the devil in the tarot usually means some kind of an addiction or a temptation. If you look at the devil card really clearly, you will see that there are chains around their feet. And those chains are actually held by two people. It's symbolic of the fact that we have self-imposed prisons. We are our own worst enemy sometimes. So fire signs, if there's anything that you're tempted to do that you know is really not supposed to be done, don't do it, because in a sky like this, it will karma come back in to get you. And now we have the Emperor in reverse. The Emperor in reverse, it's so funny because we just had that girl talking about the Emperor. The Emperor in reverse means that you're going to lose your power. You are not in control of a situation. So listen, fire signs, whatever's going on, and I'm getting a real warning for you guys here, that temptation is not going to be worth it, okay? To quote my good friend who I watch online all the time but have never met, Bethany Frankel, the effing is never as good as the effing. So be careful if you're thinking of stepping out or doing anything that you're not supposed to be doing, my fire signs, because I feel like karma is going to really get you and you're going to lose control of your life. And I usually don't get energy like that, but that's what it's saying. And here we are, it's an energy of competition. So whoever you think you're in competition with, or if somebody is kind of manipulating you to do something that you should not be doing or that you really don't want to do by nature, please listen to your intuition, fire signs, because there's definitely a temptation there to do something you should not do. The world is not ready for it yet. So just, mind your P's and Q's. I'm actually going to pull a soul card to confirm this reading, to see what this stuff is all about, because I'm getting an awful lot of chaos here for you guys, my fire signs. What is going on with you fire people? Okay. See, and I'm getting Pisces. So the Pisces energy, right now we just had Saturn going direct, heading towards Aries. That speaks to me of structure. The fish is going in two different directions for you and not being able to make up your mind and being in addiction, which we got the Devil card, and now we have Pisces energy, something about addiction. Don't let the addiction speak here. Don't let the addiction be leading the way. Go into your soul space and your own energy and realize that being indulgent is not the way to go here, okay? And if you need a deeper reading on that, my fire signs, simply call me or go on zenkuda.com. We're going to have to build something different for our cards here. I'm putting in an order for that. Okay, Carmine? Okay, so I'm going to shuffle. And next up is going to be our earth signs. Now, it's very important for our earth signs to ground. And by that, I mean walking in the woods, the forest, doing something that grounds you, because we have no planets really in earth. I mean, I know Uranus is retrograde in Taurus right now, but it's really not going to stay there for very long. And so we really don't have a lot of Earth going on right now. So my Earth signs, you really want to make sure you're doing grounding, buy a grounded mat, do something. All right. So Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. This is for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I'm shuffling really, really well. I'm going to actually cut the deck as well. Okay, so for my Earth signs, I have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is a justice card, but it's also a card of balance. It means that you really have to look at both sides of a situation in order to make a decision about something. I also have this card, the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles means hard work pays off. So if you're thinking about a move, especially my Earth signs in the material world, something to do with money or investment or finance or career, make sure that you are weighing both sides of the situation equally, because this can really be hard work paying off. But if you make a wrong move, it could really go in the other direction. There's some kind of a situation that just culminated in you like winning something, like you became in the first place, or you took over from someone else who'd been in first place or something like that. You won some kind of competition. And so now you're thinking of moving forward in some way. What I would say to my Earth signs is definitely weigh both sides of the situation. Sometimes it's good for us to stay in the status quo for a certain period of time, just in order to really evaluate what we want our next move to be. Don't be impulsive in this energy, because you may feel a little ungrounded. And then I have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords means communication, but it means communication in something either beginning or ending. And for me, when I have the Page of Swords in a spread, it can really be something coming in that's unexpected. Especially, we do have Uranus in retrograde right now. So when the Page of Swords comes in, it can mean, something being almost like an emergency situation and you being forced to make a decision very quickly. But stand your ground, unless it's a life or death situation, nothing is so important that you just absolutely have to do it right away. Really, really make sure you weigh things and have that contemplation. And the confirmation of this is the King of Wands. The person who is trying to force your hand here is someone who is very good in business. They are a fire sign. They are someone who is has this sense of urgency about their energy, and they want you to move forward, and they're pushing you to make a decision. But I'm telling you, Earth signs, it's not the time yet. I'd give it a couple of weeks. Maybe waiting to at least the solstice when we have a new moon in Sagittarius. Do not make your decisions before then. That's my advice for my fire signs. Okay. Next up, I have my water signs. Water signs, of course, is the beautiful Cancer and Scorpio and Aquarius energies. Cancer, Scorpio, and Aquarius energies. What's going to happen with you this month during the holidays? And for my Earth signs, if that's a decision, I feel it. Yeah, no, it's not a holiday decision. It's something to do with finance or work or something in the material world. Okay, so my water signs. If I seem a little glitched today, even with shuffling in my words, it's because Mercury just went direct, and I'm a Mercury retrograde baby. It's in my chart retrograde. So whenever the sign either retros the first day or goes direct the first day, I get really, really glitched. Okay. Oh, Stephanie's dad loved to bet on the horse. Then we had that beautiful horse. Okay, so water signs. I've got Aquarius, Cancer, and Pisces. Got the Death card. So my water signs, and this makes a lot of sense because we're just coming off a grand water trine. For my water signs, this is a rebirth. Death doesn't mean an actual physical death. It means the death of the old way. Something in your life is going to die, and for good. It's like you're moving on, okay? The energy is completely changing. It's morphed into something new. I have a Page of Cups here, which shows me that you are going to get a communication. Cups is emotion. This is like your cup running over. You can see the fish in the cup. It's also a Pisces sign card. So in this energy, guys, something to do with Pisces energy is ending, and you're going to get a communication that's very emotional. And that communication is, here we have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords means 911. That's my 911 card. It's like someone calls and says, changes the game. It's like something happens that completely changes the energy. So this Pisces energy out, this energy here coming in like a sudden, like a shock, and has something to do with three people, a trifecta, a trinity. It has to do with a belief system, someone seeing things differently because they've gotten advice or heard something that influenced them or something changed the story. This is all about a story that's going to change this month for you, my water signs. Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius. This is all about, I'm sorry, not Aquarius, Pisces, Cancer. I'm sorry, I'm just getting a message. Okay. This is all about the energy really changing. I'm sorry, I just got really strong psychic download. It's too much for me to say on the show. But for my water signs here, this is all about the energy just really shifts, like on a dime, like in a very drastic way. So whatever is in your chart that has a Pisces influence, or wherever Pisces is in your chart, if there's someone in your life that's Pisces, that energy is definitely stopping, changing, and something new is coming in. And I feel like it's definitely having to do with relationships. Absolutely having to do with relationships. So this is for Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Yeah. I'm going to pull one more card because I just want to confirm this reading. Future. Yeah, this is the future card. Look at all the gold in it, all the abundance. So this is definitely the Three of Wands, again with the threes. It's something to do with three people. Definitely that. And it's all about the energy completely changing, and now you're just like looking to the future. And it has to do with three people. All right. Yeah. It's like very, very busy energy. Like really potent, as the word I want to use, potent energy. So finally, I have my air signs. My air signs are Aquarius. Sorry, I misspoke before. Libra and Gemini. And you have that moon in Gemini. Towards the middle of the month, we've got that moon in Sag, but Gemini now. And for my air signs, this is going to be a very potent full moon. You're going to have a lot of clarity. A lot of clarity coming in. Okay, so let's go. My beautiful air signs. You're in your heads a lot these days. I can feel it. Okay. So we've got the Two of Wands looking out at the future with the world in your hands. So my air signs, if you go back and listen to the beginning of the show when I was saying about how this energy with the full moon in Gemini, the sun in Sagittarius, Saturn going direct headed towards Aries, and Pisces going direct shortly in, Neptune going direct shortly in Pisces. This is all about the vision for your life, for all of us, but for my air signs especially, because with the Gemini moon, you're really going to have clarity in your head. And so really think about what the visions that you're getting mean. You're going to walk away from an emotional situation, my air signs. You are looking towards the future. You're done with the past. You're moving on. And you now see this card is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, if you look at it right side up, it pulled it reverse, which means this is future. You finally see in this full moon, you have the clarity that you've needed all along. And what happens is you are going to see that you have been imprisoning yourself and that you have the freedom to move on and walk on anytime you want. That you've been in an illusion that you were stuck somewhere and you're not. And then I have this beautiful card, which is the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is all about completion and nostalgia and how you can look back with love, but also complete a cycle and know that you're going to be completely fine because you're looking at the whole world in your hand for the future. So for my air signs, it's a great energy, not an easy energy, but an energy where you're ready to let the past go. You are in that surrender that we spoke about in the beginning of the show, and you're ready to really move on. Confirmation for the reading is everything is balanced for you, my air signs. You have the world in your hands, the spiritual, the material, the financial, and the emotional. And so really beautiful reading for the air signs. This is going to be a great full moon for you. For all of us in some way or another, we're all moving on and really letting go of the past. And I have to say, when I looked at that video, and you can look at it on my YouTube channel, It's entitled Big Change 2025, Big Change. 2025 brings big change. And I'll even put it on my social media. I'll link it so you guys can look at it if you want. It really told the story of where we were a year ago and really looking at it in connection to where we are now, and how every one of us in the beginning of 2025 was in a place that we are no longer. We are all changed. And as 2026 comes in, I would love to hear your reflections. So you can put them in the comments or go on my social media, either Instagram at Zenkuda Official or Zenkuda Soul Space on Facebook, and let me know your reflections on this. What has the year been like for you? Let's talk about that in the next couple of weeks while we're really letting 2025 go. And for all of you, what I will say is that this full moon is going to bring us clarity, but the holiday lights up our fiery spirit. So let's shine our light everywhere we can, especially this last month of 2025. We'll never get this time back again. And it's been a real whirlwind of a time. And it's my belief as an evolutionary astrologer that there's a reason we were all born to experience all of these beautiful things that are happening in the world, even the tumultuous chaos and the changes that we're seeing. They're all for a reason, and they're bringing us so much wisdom. So you kind of got to love that a little bit, right? And it's not boring, that's for sure. So I'll be back here next week. But in the meantime, what I'm going to say is that just remember that this particular Gemini full moon is all about clarity. And when you do start to feel a little confused or a little hazy, just remember that probably means something's about to change. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please support my work by sharing the show or book a reading on Zenkuda.com. I'm running a special right now where if you buy 2 gift certificates for readings, you'll get a 10% discount. And I would love to hear your reflections, so put in the comments. Thanks so much. Share the show. I'll be back next Monday night at 7 o'clock.